Last week we talked about how rude people are becoming. Most of it, I think, is because of the internet. Online, people can write whatever they want to write, except for one thing. Should Obama be killed? Nothing protects your right to say or write that. Someone posted a poll on Facebook asking that very question. The Secret Service found out about it and told Facebook to get it off. Any threat against the president is taken seriously. Rest assured, the Secret Service will find out who started that and have a very long conversation with them. All right, joining us, our contributor, Cameron Turner from Turner's 2 Cents. Hi, Cameron.
Fred, how are you?
Good. Everybody has freedom of speech, but technology is allowing people to cross the line, don't you think?
Well, this Facebook thing, Kill Obama poll, this is yet another appalling example of the kind of barbaric hatred being directed at the president. You know, all presidents labor under the constant threat of death, but the level of threats, the number directed at President Obama is simply unprecedented. And about 30 a day.
Well, 30 a day, I can appreciate
I'm sorry.
that. No,
I'm sorry, Fred. I lost the audio for a moment.
Okay, you back now?
Yes. Okay. I was going to say, President Obama's getting threatened on an average 30 times a day. You calculate that out over a year, that's about 11,000 threats per year. Compare that to 3,000 threats per year against President George Bush. But it isn't simply the number. It is this very public nature of it. I mean, if you go back to last summer when people were standing up at John McCain rallies shouting, kill him, referring to Obama. And then that pastor a little while back standing in God's pulpit calling for Obama's death. And now this Facebook thing. We're in a whole new realm. And I think that it ties in, quite frankly, to what Jimmy Carter said the other week. I do think there's some racism underneath this. There's some fear. But the real key question and the real key point is, where are the responsible Republican leaders? Why are they not denouncing this evil?
Well, but Cameron, how should they denounce this? What should they say right now?
I think that it would be a very good idea. In fact, I think it is an incumbent upon Republican leaders at all levels of government to stand up and say, we must engage in vigorous debate over political issues, but we will not tolerate the threats against the president's life.
Going
back again to the campaign of last year.
Cameron, wait a minute. Wait. Let me ask you something. You're saying Republican leaders should stand up and make that proclamation.
Yes, they should, because it is their constituents who are out here doing this.
Yeah, but earlier you indicated this is a question of race. Now you're saying it's a question of politics.
I think that race is a component to it. I think that it's all tied up with politics. I think that if we had some leaders in the House and Senate and in the Republican Party standing up and speaking against this sort of thing, we would have a different climate, a climate where we could debate politics without threatening the president's life in these very public ways. Yeah, and I think that what you're talking about here, it is the constituents largely of that party. These are not Democrats these are not Obama supporters who are out here saying these things. And so it is the silence, this deafening silence from the Republican leadership, really, I think, constitutes a kind of consent. And I think they need to step up and say right is right and wrong is wrong, and we do not tolerate this.
No, I understand, but come on, Cameron, it's not a consent at all. And I think this is a much bigger issue. I think it's a much bigger issue. No, wait. I think it's a much bigger issue than the Republicans standing up and making this statement. I think there's some race involved with it. I really do. I also think this is, and it has nothing to do, I think, with political parties at this point. I think there are some people frustrated. You mentioned yourself, George Bush faced 3,000 threats. You're saying President Obama has 11,000, so you see it's worse now. But we don't know every threat that was reported against President Bush. I think the president deals with this pretty much. And obviously, with technology the way it is now, more advanced than when Bush was the president, we're going to find out about more of it. That's all. I mean, and I respect what you say. You know that. But
it's true we didn't have Facebook when George W. Bush was in the White House. But those figures that I gave you come from Ronald Kessler, the author of the book In the President's Secret Service. He's one of the leading experts on these matters. If he says that that threats against the president's life are up 400% against Obama over Bush, I think that's a number we need to pay attention to. And we can't simply say, well, it's all the presidents are up against this, because it's not the same thing. And I do think that if we got some of those Republicans out there saying, hey, you know what, y'all need to chill out. I think we would see the climate come down. Because right now the lunatics are running wild and nobody's putting them in check.
All right, I'm going to give you the last word on that because we got to move on. We're out of time. We'll talk to you next week. Thanks, Cameron.
Thank you, Fred.
Okay.